has money and they can support me, but I model because I love to model, and it's something that I enjoy doing. So I don't think it's fair that they made me sound greedy about it and all, because I model because I love to model, and that's really all there is to it.
Even the New York Times coverage of your early modeling years raises unsettling questions, Ivanka. They wrote about you not as a child, but as a branded spectacle describing a 15-year-old girl showing up to interviews in AA floor-length, see-through white dress, framed not as exploitation, but as glamour. That isn't normal. That's not how the press talks about a teenager unless the adults around her have already decided she isn't allowed to be a teenager. And then there are the images, the ones people pretend not to see. You sitting on your father's lap, his hands on your shoulders, repeated again in photo after photo as if it were totally ordinary. The group shot with your brother, Epstein, and John Casablancas. All smiling like this was just another industry gathering instead of the intersection of three men later tied to accusations involving underage girls. But the element that stands out most isn't the headlines or the scandals. It's a brief clip from an interview years later, you walking through your old bedroom. The camera catches your face when you look at the bed you used to sleep in, and there's a fraction of a second where everything drops. The voice continues talking, but the eyes say something else entirely. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's everything. People will interpret it how they want. But anyone watching closely can feel it. The pause, the silence, the weight. That's not a conspiracy. That's not reading too much into it. That's just what happens when the past refuses to stay hidden.
This was my bed. It's a little small for me now. Probably why I don't stay here anymore, but yeah.
And what floor are we at?
We are on the 68th floor. Not a bad view to wake up to.
Let's lay out the timeline because the context here matters. Ivanka Trump began modeling at age 15 under Elite Model Management, the same agency run by John Casablancas, a figure long surrounded by accusations involving inappropriate relationships with teenage girls. Casablancas, according to multiple reports, left one marriage for a relationship with a 15-year-old and later pursued another teenager while still an adult in his 40s. None of that is speculation. Those claims have been publicly documented for decades. And yet, while all of that was already part of Casablancas' reputation, Ivanka was signed to his agency, promoted through his network, and featured in the very system that would later be investigated for exploitation of underage models. This isn't about guilt by association, it's about the environment she was placed into, and who made those decisions on her behalf. So when Ivanka later spoke in interviews about her life as a young model, describing the experience as normal, professional, and empowering, it forces us to confront a deeper question. Was she aware of the world she'd been put into, or was the public being shown a polished version of something far more complicated?
Ivanka is quickly becoming a star in her own right. Along with her editorial work, she is the new face of both the Mugler trademark and Sasson ad campaigns.
People are always going to speculate, and people are always going to wonder, could she have done it without her parents being who they are? And I've always thought, in this industry, your parents can't really get you that far. It's more about the public opinion, and if the public doesn't like you, then you're never going to succeed.
She has to go through letting stage, she's really just starting. She has a lot of confidence, a lot of voice, and a lot of personality, and she's a hard worker. If you start with those qualities, you really can go places.